Wednesday, December 27th, 2023, commission meeting to order. Roll call, please, Jeff.
Bob Houston,
Present.
Monty Kisner,
Present.
Brian Johnson.
Please rise. Pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Move.
All in favor? 3 votes for, 0 against. Need a motion to approve the commission meeting minutes from December 20th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor? 3 votes for, 0 against. I need a motion to approve the work session minutes from December 15th, 2023, review insurance renewal, and also December 20th, 2023, public hearing for the 2024 budget. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 3 votes for, 0 against. Resolution 23-114, Cass County Assessor and Collector's Office approving the lease agreement with Millwalk Mall LLC. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roger, I'm assuming you're still happy with the lease?
I'm very happy with my lease.
You would want us to
I've
go
got
ahead
space
and...
over there. I wish I had a better view like you had up there. I still think it's a reasonable rent.
And I'm sure Chris is busy today, is why he could not be here.
Yes, they're 12, 15 deep right now.
So it'd be your recommendation that we accept
I
this lease?
recommend that we stay there, yes.
And it's been this way for how many years without
It's
an
only been a
increase?
couple of years since we redid the conference room area. But then we've had extensive electrical service they had to do this year and just cost of living, so.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Unless you guys want to build me someplace new up here, so.
I do have a motion on that
Do
yet.
we
Yeah.
have it?
Okay. He said-
Okay, yeah, you did. You did vote. You didn't vote yet.
All in favor of resolution 23-114? 3 votes for, 0 against, resolution passes. Thank you, Roger. Resolution 23-115, Cass County Road and Bridge approving a contract with North Jean Hill Excavating Incorporated regarding the Graw Bridge Project BRO-019, number 36. I need a motion.
So moved.
Monty, you want to talk about that?
It's just approving the company that's a Raw Road Bridge, the one that sets, we have truck drive off of, and just, we're redoing that whole design through there, so.
It's going to be a good improvement.
It's gonna be a huge improvement, I know it, we talked to landowners, and I've been out to talk to all three actually that lived on it, and we finally got it all, where they're all happy, and it needs to be done.
And they were our cheapest bid out of the bid
Yep,
process.
the cheapest bid, and, yeah, it's a good thing.
Any other questions? All in favor of resolution 23-115? 3 votes for, 0 against, resolution passes. Resolution number 23-116, Cass County Commission approving a proposal for property casualty and liability insurance renewal with Travelers Insurance. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Holly, would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Not really, but.
We've talked about this.
I'm being heckled by the sheriff's office. So let the record reflect. Last year, the county went through an extensive bidding process where we went out to multiple carriers and received quotes. We were tipped off pretty early that Travelers would be changing the terms and conditions of their insurance contract for this year, specifically around, and really only changing to property caps, the property portion, and the wind hail deductible. So knowing that, we also went ahead out and tried to seek alternative quotes so we would have a comparison to where Travelers was at. We received a what appeared to be a very competitive quote from Trident Insurance. They do not have a local presence here, other than those through the agents. They're out of San Antonio. They are an excellent, outstanding, A-rated carrier also. However, once we got dug into their quote and looked at it, the terms of their wind hail deductibles were not as favorable as Travelers. So specifically in a wind hail event, Travelers is a per occurrence deductible. So if multiple properties were taken out in one occurrence, one storm, you would pay a one-time deductible. Where Trident had a per building and also per business personal property, whatever contents, if you will, of those buildings. So a separate deductible would apply to both building and contents, and a separate deductible would apply to every single building. So if you look at the likelihood of an event that might take out multiple buildings, then that deductible increases significantly. So with those comparisons, it was our recommendation that for one more year, Travelers was still appeared to have the best terms. if you combine the terms and the pricing together. I know there had been a lot of questions about, some desire maybe to get back into the pool with MoPerm. MoPerm, because they had quoted the whole account last year, was not anxious to jump in and quote again this year, specifically because you have two standard market carriers that have offered quotes. So MoPerm is obligated to provide a quote to any entity in the state of Missouri that does not have an A-rated carrier quote, but because you have two other quotes. Just out of curiosity, when reaching out and having some discussion with them, they expect their terms to change around wind and hail deductibles as well with their reinsurance contracts. That has not happened yet. However, they did indicate that for this year, they received a 20% increase of rate. So if you apply that 20% increase to the quote they provided last year, that's well over $1 million in premium there. So it puts them, kind of knocks them out of being competitive. I had some conversation with MoPerm at that time if they would be interested in entertaining next year, in case we see this market trend keep occurring with travelers where terms keep changing. They said likely they would be in the same position they were this year, only if you did not have another alternative quote. Would they be interested? So it doesn't look like they're anxious to expand their property. With their reinsurance agreement, all carriers have a kind of a cap of how much property they need to have insured. And because the pool shares limits, I think they're not in any real desire to go out and obtain a bunch more property, because that kind of then shrinks down the limits that are available for the other members of the pool. So absolutely, if for some catastrophic reason the county could not obtain quotes from another carrier, a standard market carrier, they would entertain quoting, but they're not anxious to do so as of yet. I think that, any other questions? I know there was, the only other question we had from our side, last year the county had purchased a buy down policy, a separate deductible to buy the wind hail deductible down. Sounds like that's probably not in the interest of the county, there's no interest in that this year, so just a confirmation that we're not doing that. And then two questions we need answered around the auto physical damage and liability, if we're changing the auto phys and deductibles, or if we're putting a liability deductible. So that's the only clarification that we need from our point. But Travelers is exceedingly happy to retain the county's business. They were very concerned that y'all might leave just because they enjoy doing business here. The loss control manager lives just north of the county line, so they take great personal pride in knowing that they insure Cass County. Trident was, as you can imagine, very disappointed not to get the business, but they said in no way, they had completely understood on the terms of the deductible. Had anything change on terms, they would be with Travelers next year going into a renewal period. They would very much be interested in quoting again. So we didn't burn any bridges there by not accepting that quote.
Any questions?
Nope.
Our highlight, we'll be getting with you on those three changes.
Okay.
I talked about.
All right, I
Thank you,
appreciate
Colin.
it. Thank you.
Just to give everyone an idea what our Travelers insurance premium last year was $622,040. This year it's going to be $876,358. So several $100,000 increase. We're fortunate this year because our workman's comp dropped about 200 or some thousand, so it's going to kind of offset both those. Hopefully we'll see a savings next year on this, but this is kind of across the board. I think we're seeing it everywhere. So.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor of resolution 23-116? 3 votes for, 0 against, resolution passes. Thank you, Holly. Resolution 23-117, Cass County Sheriff's Office approving an agreement with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services regarding detection and mitigation of confinement facilities. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second. Bill.
The jail administrators from the Missouri Sheriff's Association were notified that the Department of Health had some grant money for COVID for jail, redoing rooftop units, ventilation, improving COVID stuff. So I talked to you guys and you said go ahead and put in for it. We got a quote back from MCC of the rooftop units that involved the jail, and that was a little over $500,000. So we submitted that to them. They approved us for a little over $250,000 of grant money. It's just reimbursed after we spend it. So we filled it out and sent it, and the auditor is going to manage that grant. And as we do the work and get the receipts, he's going to put it in and get reimbursed.
Thank you, Bill. Any questions?
Thank you.
All in favor of resolution 23-117? 3 votes for, 0 against, resolution passes. At this time, we'll open the podium for any public comment. Seeing none, we're going to close it. Any commissioner communications? Hope everyone had a great Christmas and
Yeah,
Happy New Year coming up here. We are going to go into executive session under RSMO 610.021.1 legal and RSMO 610.021.2 real estate. I need a motion.
So moved.
Jeff, would you roll call?
Barb Houston,
Yes.
Monty Kisner,
Yes.
Ryan Johnson.
Yes. When we come back out of executive meeting, we will adjourn the general session. Thank you.